for today, we're going to look at thinking as a skill. Thinking is a lost art. Thinking is what used to define the people of the ancient times. We read about philosophers, we talk about philosophers, we quote philosophers, the Socrates, the Plutos, and even in the recent times, people who have thought well, like the Mandela, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther Jr. King, the recent Obamas, and people of the like are reckoned great thinkers, and we do quote them because we know that whatever they have said, whatever they have mentioned, whatever they have uttered, have been well thought statements, and that gives us a foundation to think, why is thinking a lost art for us? Today, thinking seems to be a rare skill. Thinking seems to be not so popular. We seem to do things and then we think later, which is not really a good way of approach to life. We need to sit, think, and plan, and then do things, and then in that we shall have eliminated so many mistakes, so many errors, so many repetitions and things that we have to undo. I always give this example when we come to thinking, that I one time was at a warehouse, and a lorry arrived, a lorry of goods. Of course, goods were packed in boxes, and then this group of workers was called to come and offload the lorry. Now, they did not ask where the goods were going to be put. Yeah, these guys are told to offload the lorry, and like I'm using this to demonstrate the art of fast thinking before you do. They begin by pulling out boxes out of the lorry, stacking them down, and unfortunately they were stacking them at the entrance of the store, right where the goods were supposed to be stored. So they stick out lorries, boxes until the entrance is full and the veranda is also full, and they cannot get any more boxes down because they're running out of space. And then they ask, where are these boxes going? So they are told eventually the boxes are going in the store. Now, to start getting the first box into the store, someone had to climb over these boxes and get into the store and then start filling the boxes in. So you kind of see double work. You are pushing yourself to do something which is unsafe, which if you had thought well, you should have done it first time. So if these guys had asked, where are we putting the boxes? And they even go into the store and look, do we have enough room? That's now thinking and planning. So by the time you start offloading the first box, you even know where it's going. So you do work at once. It demonstrates the art of first think before you act. So the point I'm saying here is that thinking is a lost art. We do things and we demonstrate to those who see us that we are not critically thinking. We're not really thinking very well about what we are doing. The other thing I wanted to use to illustrate our thinking is the way we drive, especially in our city here, Kampala. The way we drive, you get to a junction where 2 or 3 roads meet, and then you look at the drivers and the way they are behaving, especially when there's no traffic officer to stop others and let others through fast, and you realize we are not good thinkers also on the road. Because everybody drives as if they want to be fast, to go fast, and the other one also says me fast, and then you end up locking your cars like cows would lock their horns at a junction, and then no one is moving. At the end of the day, we are all losing time, we are all stuck, no one is letting the other go through. Moreover, if you let someone go, you are opening your own way. That's how I was taught in driving. I said the moment whenever you give someone way, you clear your own way. So you look at how we do things, where we do things, and you ask the question, do we really think? Yes, we are actually a total sum of our thoughts. If you think about it, I said the scripture in the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. That means nothing is created about you that is not created first in your mind, and that you don't rehearse in your mind, whether it's what you're going to do, what you're going to say, or how you're going to live, is a total sum of your thoughts. So thinking, therefore, is a very important and critical act of our life, because by the way we do things, if we thought long enough, we thought hard enough, even our achievements would be varied, would be very different. The results would be demonstrating that we have thought about it. When you find someone doing something, no matter what task it is, and you see how they do it, how they go about it, you are likely, if you are thinking about it also, you are likely to see that it's been a well thought thing or not quite well thought. So we will be tackling topics such as critical thinking for achievement, for success. That will be a higher level of thinking, but at this basic level, we're just saying, should we not engage our minds? Should we not engage our thoughts in whatever task we do? So that you sit down, plan it. I think it was Churchill who said that when he's given 6 hours to chop or to cut down a tree, he said he will spend 4 sharpening the axe and then the other 2 to cut down the tree. Means planning and thinking are part and parcel, and should be part and parcel of achievement. So you're given a task, but then you need to plan, prepare yourself, and then do the task. But if you haven't prepared and done well, sometimes we start and then halfway, quarter way, remember the illustration of the men offloading a lorry. Halfway, quarter way, you realize you haven't done it smart, then you have to go back and redo and do, and then repeat what you should have done at first. So thinking is really a job, and we need to invest in it. Our brain grows, our brain expands whenever we exercise it, whenever we task it to think. And you realize that when you think again and again, over and over the same task, the output is never the same. I recall this experience when I was starting to do research for a PhD, and my supervisor told me, go and put your idea on paper. I went and wrote what I thought was my best, and then went and presented. She was a lady, and she just got a pen and crossed it. And she told me, this is not well thought, go and try again. And I felt terrible. I felt horrible. So I went back and said, how best do I do it now? I thought again. I said, now let me change this, let me try that, let me pitch this way, let me do that. I took back the second draft, and it wasn't good enough. She still told me, it is coming up, but not quite. It got heavy on me, because I was writing the same idea over and over. I wrote the third time, and she told me some improvement is coming up now. And now she said, she was particular, said, I don't see originality, I don't see this. She made those comments. I need to see novelty, what new idea you bring to this kind of research and stuff. So I went back and wrote the 4th time. I brought to her, we discussed, and she said, now this is something showing up. What did I do to realize that I had not well thought the first draft? I went back comparing the 3rd, 2nd, and the first draft. I would now then at that stage also say that my first draft was rubbish. Because through the task of being told to think over and over and over, my output changed. And that means I was now engaging my mind. That made me to realize, oh, so we sometimes don't just achieve because we haven't given ourselves tasks to think. We haven't been hard enough on ourselves to think hard and long enough. But when you do it over and over the same task, the output changes. The point I'm making here is that thinking changes results. Thinking changes our output. Thinking can determine our achievement. We will look at positive thinking, we'll look at critical thinking, as I said, so that we really help ourselves think better, work better, achieve better, and improve our output. So for now, I just wanted to bring it to your attention that thinking is a task. Thinking is a forgotten art. Thinking, people used to be paid to think. There is this story of a philosopher. That there was a village where lived a philosopher, and there was also a village mate who was an old man. He had a wife and 1 son, and unfortunately the wife died and left them 2, the father and the son, and then their cow. He had one cow as well. So he lived his life around his cow with the son. They would go graze the cow, take it to drink water, bring it home, and do the normal stuff, look after themselves, cook, but their life deteriorated. His life deteriorated. So the villagers, the village mates were concerned and said, what do we do to help this widower, our fellow village mate, who seems life is not working well for him since he lost his wife? So they went to the philosopher and they said, what do we do to help our village mate? He seems not to be doing well. He's there, yes, with the son and the cow, but his life is on the downward spiral. What do we do to help him? The philosopher said, give me time to think about it and I'll tell you what you can do. Indeed, they gave him time, he thought it over, and when they came back, he said, yeah, do this. He said, while the man is sleeping, go and untie his cow, take it over the cliff. There was, I think they lived by the lake shore. Take it over the cliff and push it over. Let the cow die in the cliff there in the water. Wow, the villagers said, how would that help? The philosopher said, did you come for help? They said, yes, we did. They said, go do what I've told you, and then you'll come, observe the results, and then you'll come and tell me. They went. Indeed, they felt it was a betrayal, but then it had come from a thinking person. So they went, pushed over the man's cow. The cow died, and they observed what happened. Later on, the story says, the man's life began improving. The moment the cow was out of the picture, the man sat down with his son, the story says, and thought, what else? What next? How can we survive? So he left the cow story alone, lamented he could never find his cow, he never knew what happened. All he thought was somebody came and maliciously stole the cow. So long story short, this guy's life changed. So they came and asked the philosopher, how did you know this would work? He said, this man's mind was only about the cow, and his life only revolved around the cow. But I wanted you to get the cow out of the picture so that he could think more broadly and have something else to do. And that is what has contributed to the improvement of his life. So you see that thinking alone can mean a total change of someone's life. The philosopher's mind said, the man is not thinking about anything else but a cow. But once you get the cow out of the picture, he will think, he will be forced, he will be pushed to think, and that indeed is what happened, and the man's life improved. So you see that through thinking, this story illustrates that through thinking, we can change totally. We can overhaul our lives. We can just remove whatever has been there and replace it with a new set of thoughts, and that also means a new set of living for us, probably new achievements, probably new levels of success, maybe new levels of working and of acting and of doing things. So for now, I just want you to go thinking that thinking is the thing to do, that thinking is the task that might be missing. Could it be the missing link in our life? Could it be the missing link in my life? That because I've not thought long and hard enough about what I'm doing, I stick the same results and I don't achieve anything better. So think and think and think, and that will be a good task for us. For now, think about thinking. To my dear listener, I want to welcome you to this series. This series is going to be doing a lot on life skills. We want to look at life skills in their totality, maybe in their broad sense. Life is lived in various spheres, socially, politically, economically, spiritually, academic, name it all. And whatever we shall be doing in this program, will be pitching in one of those areas so that we can enhance our living. If we talk about succeeding in life, no one can succeed in one single facet. We succeed in a multifaceted way. A bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then life is counted all together to be a success. We will be doing various demonstrations. I want to promise that the demonstration will really focus us on which skills to major in if we are to live a good life, a positive life, and achieve and